Welcome back to Flywheel Films. We've got Kwan's NC Miata right here, and we're going to take a special look at what is underneath this thing. It's actually NC1, by the way, and we're going to see everything he's done to this car and why, actually, I think the NC1 is a pretty cool car. Dude, this car, I mean, this is how I met you, like through Instagram.
That's right, that's right.
And this is an NC1, 2006.
Yeah, that's right.
Marble white.
That's right.
By the way, his Instagram, marble_NC1. And this has an NC3 front bumper now. I kind of want to, get your take on the whole car. First of all, let's just start. Why did you buy an NC?
Oh God, it's the NC's. It's like the epitome of like the Roadster. It's an entry level. It's like the best bang for your buck, and it's something I wanted to kind of mess around with. And I did the research, and it turned out that the NC1 was like the most value. And it's like, why would I not get that, right? If I had more cars I can handle, this was a car that I just needed.
Yeah.
And so I did it.
And you got a NC1 06. So before the power retractable hardtop PRHT was ever a thing, this is the car. By the way, we'll throw a photo on top because he actually has the matching hardtop for this car. Which, did you paint it to match it?
And actually, it came stock. NC1
stock marble white.
A51 was the actual color.
Oh my gosh, marble white.
Come with the car, or did you buy it separate?
It was separate though. I bought it through a vendor in Florida that actually produced it. But you order it, and then you would have to wait like 3 or 4 months. But then it pulled through just nicely. Okay,
so that's fantastic. So NC1 marble white with the hard top matching. But at the moment, he's got the soft top on, and it is a brown leather interior. But I see your center console is not brown.
That's correct, yeah, it's not brown. When I first got it, I thought, oh my God, it's just too much saddleback. And I thought, we gotta tone that down. And so I looked at it very carefully and I said, if I can make the console black, if I can mute the actual door panel so it's slightly black and more black than it is tan, it might actually look better. And so I did the research, I picked up online, and I found the parts, and I decided to swap it out. And it actually turned out quite all right.
So what exact combo do you have? Because NC1 was, with the tan interior, it was like very saddleback, like
that's right.
Basketball, whatever color.
Like saddleback.
On the center console, the door cards.
How much of the door cards was brown initially?
But it was the entire panel was all saddleback, and I decided I just couldn't handle that, and so I thought either I dye it, or I figure out if there are any other options. And so the options were, well, hang on. Yeah. I think this model came out where the later NC1s had the actual door panels where it was more black than it was tan. And I said, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's what, because it's the designers going, you know what? People are saying there's too much saddleback. That's what it is. And I said, yes, I need that. I need that for this car. And there you go.
So you kept the saddleback ethos, but not just overgrown saddleback, which is what it came from the factory.
That's correct.
Now, 2008, so Austin's behind the camera. He's looking at NC1s. Maybe you're going to buy one soon. Leave it in the comments if you think he should.
Or if you have one for sale.
Or if you have one for sale.
That's right. Hook them up.
He's been looking at NC1s. In 2008, they actually switched from being saddleback everything to being saddleback, seats and center?
It's just, all it is the seats and the door cards. So when I got into Kwan's NC a second ago, I thought it was an 08 because of what he had done. But the only thing that I noticed that made it, that gave it away as an NC1 is a saddleback piece on the dash. So that is not
only NC1.
That is
early NC1.
Early
06,
NC1.
07.
Yeah.
That's right.
So this is a 2006, which never even came with the power retractable hardtop.
Correct.
That came in 07. So this is an 06, got that sweet brown top. So I actually met Kwan a couple of years ago out here in LA, and we shot our cars together, and it was like, this is sweet. I really like this color, actually. This is the marble white. I have the forget what my color is called.
Somebody in the comments will
crystal white pearl metallic.
Jeez, what a name.
What?
Yeah. There's a lot of different whites, but this is like a really sweet, a bit more like flat marble white. Like, it doesn't have the metallic flake, which is fine actually. And actually I prefer that because that means it's easier to repaint if something needs to be repainted. I've gotten quotes on mine to fix my stupid door ding, and it's like pretty bad. But this is incredible. And you also have, what wheels are these?
So these wheels are actually aftermarket. They are a Chinese knockoff though, but I decided that I didn't like it. And so I changed out the actual center cap to sort of match what I wanted in a wheel. And so I decided that it actually looked pretty good. And so I kept it the way it was. And so, I always wanted to upgrade the wheels though, but it turned out that these wheels are actually quite all right. On the actual canyon carving drives with TJ, it's actually perfect. It works really, really well.
So what are the specs of these actual wheels?
Oh gosh, these wheels are, I believe they're 17 times 8x5.
Yep.
30 offset.
Okay.
So they're pretty fat. Yeah, they're pretty fat. And they fit
really
great.
nice.
So they're 215, 45, 17s. And
Correct,
so
yeah.
stock is 205, so they're a little bit stretched, a little bit wider.
That's right.
Looks fantastic. The marble white on silver, fantastic look. And the silver is just a classy wheel in general. I mean, I'm curious, as a car designer, what wheel color do you like? What do you think? What do you think of like black and all the other wheels?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jordan. I like the black, but for this white, this is a really different kind of white. I kind of see it as like kind of this retro white, which actually I love a lot.
It's like off-white, yeah.
The black mutes it down. I like this hyper silver, which sort of it accents the kind of white, and it gives it just a little bit more kind of sizzle.
Yeah.
In the overall look and feel of the overall car. I like the fact that it is silver and not black, and so I kept it kind of silver. And so I had a choice: do I go white? Do I go hyper silver, or do I go black? And I love the idea of keeping it silver. So just for the contrast purposes, it makes sense for me.
Silver was the move. Also, these mirrors, clearly aftermarket. What are these?
These are, those are from Craft Squares in Japan.
Nice.
And they came all carbon fiber, and I wanted to keep it sort of carbon fiber, but I thought about, if I kept the carbon fiber, it was good though, but I wanted to kind of match the overall look and feel of this sort of, my spec is OEM plus, and by leaving just a hint of carbon fiber on the edge.
Yeah, on the very edge, you can see the carbon fiber
color,
weave.
And it actually works out quite well. I mean, I'm very, very happy and very pleased with the overall results of it. So
that's awesome. And then the steering wheel. So a lot of people commenting on me.
Yeah, here we go.
What is the steering wheel center cover from?
Yeah, so that center cap is from it's from a vendor on Etsy.
Etsy.
It's a 60 millimeter cover. I wanted to put that on the actual wheels, but it turned out it didn't fit. It fit on the actual steering wheel perfectly. And so I said, oh my God.
The same kind of
the
red.
That's correct. And so I kept it very true. And it turned out that it worked out so well that I gave one to Jordan. He fucking loved it. And I was like,
I love that. My Miata wheel has the same thing, but my Miata wheel is a stock wheel. You clearly have an aftermarket situation going on there.
I've got the Cypher wheel on the outside, but the interior, the center console is stock.
The same. And then the gauge faces also. What is your situation with that?
So that is actually, that's OEM, but the actual covers, I got the actual dial covers from, I'm thinking here, right? I believe, from Rev 9. It was Rev 9 or Jetstream, but it was Rev 9, I think it was.
Yeah.
And they had the actual cover caps, which actually accents the overall look and feel of that without going too, I had the yellow gauge before, but I thought it was a little bit too much, and so I wanted to tone that down, but I wanted to accent the actual dial tone. And so by adding the actual silver caps over the actual, the gauge,
that works tremendously.
So the gauge covers are from Rev 9, and then where are the dial caps from? Are they also Rev 9?
The gauges are stock.
The gauges are stock.
The gauges are stock.
That's the thing. Like
the dial caps are from Rev 9.
Those caps make such a difference. Like stock gauges look a little cringy. And it's fine if you have them, but like honestly, Rev Limiter is where I got my gauges. That's where most gauge faces come from.
Yeah.
But the actual these silver caps do make a
huge difference.
Big
they
difference.
Make it feel a lot more premium.
And they do match the rings of the like the shifter, all the vents, like everything. There's a little bit of a silver kind of ring. Even the door cards have the silver ring on the top of the actual door handle. So again, these are NC1 door cards, so the cup holder does like impede on your legroom a little bit. It's not really a big deal, but
not a big deal.
You also have this aftermarket cup holder thing.
Yeah. The cup holder. Oh my God, it's amazing. I love that thing.
Where's that from?
That is a standard item from, I believe it's from NC Miata. Yeah.
Okay.
NC Miata, hook me up. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, and it works flawlessly. It's a no-brainer for me.
Nice. And then you also have an ND shift knob, which is awesome.
Correct.
Great touch.
Can't go wrong with that.
ND shift knob is fantastic. And then the actual e-brake handle is also a bit different.
The e-brake is actually that's a Mazda MX-5 OEM part.
Really?
Yeah. So they have that currently in existing. When you go online, it says it's discontinued, but if you do your research, there's about, as far as I think as of last year, there's about 50 available in existence, and so you can get this off the web. Yeah, for sure.
And you have a Sony XAV AX. What is that? AX5000.
Yeah. And that is the 5500.
5500, okay.
Yeah, so it has, so that one there is a Sony setup. Love it a lot. It works super well, and it has the option where you can actually you can upload images into the actual UI, and so you can see.
Yep.
You can image. So you can add the image for the UI. So whenever you decide to put is on the screen, and so that's one of the better ones. And it's been flawless. It's one of my favorite little mods.
Yeah, it looks so good. So I have the Sony XV AX5000.
Okay. Yeah,
Basically the same look, and it actually looks like you said OEM plus.
Right.
It's clear that it was your ethos. And then what else are we working with here in the interior? I mean, this is the NC1 center console, so like people who aren't familiar, like that's kind of how that looks.
Oh yeah. This is kind of cool. You got a
window switches.
I got it set up, so I got my little V1 Gen 2 set up here. You can just slap it right on top versus being on top.
Nice.
And it mounts beautifully, and it's easy to take on and off. It's very,
looks like an aftermarket shift boot and e-brake boot too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, very good. Yeah, that's actually God. You guys are good. That's I like the white stitching a lot, and so I believe that was from R1 Sport, something like that.
Okay.
We'll add a link below.
Yeah. And so the steering wheel also actually matches that. That's got the silver stitching, but the actual
the silver
it definitely works.
And even the little shift pattern emblem thing there. And then what's plugged into your cigarette lighter?
That's a powering of the actual the V1 Gen 2 Valentine 1 radar detector, which I use a lot if I'm messing around.
And the ESR phone mount.
Got to have the mount, yeah.
Yep.
So
and
I
this
can
is the
drive.
So NC1, even the premium versions only had the manual mirror
auto dimming
dimmer. Yeah, not auto dimming, just manual dimming.
Manual dimming, yeah.
Nice. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So that auto dimming came
an
into
absolute necessity when you're in a low car, by the way.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
You got TRD pros just like going up on you.
Yeah, people like me coming up behind you.
And then the door sills, are those also?
Yeah, that's aftermarket as well. The MX-5 door sills, that's OEM as well. It's a nice touch. It's one of those things where it doesn't take much to really make it a little bit more. I call that sizzle. It just adds a little bit more.
Just a little
feel.
sizzle.
Yeah,
it
good.
kind of
It always
follows
works.
the stainless with the gauge.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
all
the
works.
needle covers and
That's
then
correct.
all the other stainless accents.
Yep. And then here's the door bushings.
So this is the door bushing from Ken Auto. This is amazing. It's one of my favorite pieces. There's a certain close and opening that has such a bite. You can hear that, right?
Oh, you can hear it.
And it's so solid. Ken Auto is actually a great company.
Yep.
He's hooked me up with that, and it's been flawless. And I can't tell you how much I love that. That's one of the parts that I love in the door. And the closing of it, it takes a bit more push though. But the way it secures itself, it just feels so much way better than what it used to be. And so I can't tell you much. That Ken Auto door bushing is amazing.
And then one more thing I can see visually, obviously, is the deletion of the style hoops and the addition of a roll bar. This thing.
Is that what they're called from the factory? Is style hoops?
Style hoops.
That's
Style
terrible.
hoops?
Yeah, yeah.
So bad.
So what's crazy though is like I've never loved roll bars because they feel too raw. And actually, what Kwan has here is like almost like a leatherette wrapped roll bar.
That's right.
Where's this from?
This is from Hard Dog. The leather wrap came with it.
Okay.
But I put everything back together, and I actually did it. So I actually template, and I actually made this actual cover myself. So it covers up all the raw hacking of the actual plastic, and this does it very well. I mean, if I took these actual parts off, you'd see that there's a huge gap in a void. It just looks horrible.
Yeah,
So,
but this was
is this a plug as well that's covering
the actual rear the windshield little visor thingy where that flips up and down.
Here's the thing: the OEM style hoops, that's literally what they're called. They actually, to install the roll bar, you have to like hack away at the plastic.
Right.
And some people, cleanly cut it, but this is actually a really clean way to hide those cuts.
That's right.
So that's actually pretty clever.
And by the way, I do have the template. If you want the actual pattern, feel free to hook me up. It's no problem.
Hit 'em up.
I'll pass it out.
You have
That's what makes this community so great, right?
Front and rear dash cam.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Who's that from?
That is gosh, that's a good question. It says Venture. It's Venture, yeah.
Some dash cam somewhere.
Yeah, Venture, and it's flawless. I've got 5 cars, and that actually works well. It's flawless. It always worked when I turned the engine on. It turned everything on, and it captures it fully. If I ever go on drives with TJ across, ACH or GMR, that captures footage like you wouldn't believe. It's very, very solid.
Nice. And then you have a stubby antenna here from somewhere. I don't know. Cool stubby antenna.
Yeah, I don't know where it's from.
Everyone needs to have one of those.
Right.
Like
That's
it's
the first upgrade.
basic upgrade.
That's right.
And what is it? Is this lip OEM?
This lip is OEM,
Yeah,
correct?
OEM appearance package lip.
That's right.
Same with the, so actually let's talk, I guess, power modifications. So we have clearly a non-OEM muffler.
Yeah, so the exhaust system on this, the actual catback exhaust system is a Borla, but I had the actual tips customized, and so I took off the Borla tips and I put these nicer units. Back when I actually swapped out the NC3 bumper, the rear bumper, there was a lot more space within the actual area there, and so I thought the standard Borla tips didn't really sort of suffice the area as nicely, and so these tips are slightly larger and fuller, and so it really does fill the area nicely, and that's why I decided to swap it out.
Is this a non-NC1 rear bumper as well as this off NC3 as well?
That's correct, yeah. So this rear bumper is off the NC3, and my car being the NC1, I swapped out the front bumper, the rear bumper, as well as the actual side skirts.
And you can tell that by the red surround of the taillights. That's how you know it's NC2 or NC3. Whereas NC1 would be, I don't know, a mixture of red.
Surround.
Yeah, it's a bit more chrome, a bit more disco, I call it.
Yeah, slightly different.
A little bit more O6 than it is, you know?
Yeah, right.
And then you said you have the NC3 side skirts as well.
That's correct, right. Side skirts. All these parts I found on eBay through random junkyards, and I picked them up. I believe the front bumper, the side skirts were black, and they were in bad shape. And I like building it back, bringing it back to speed. And I ended up, resining, polishing, bondoing, cutting, heat gunning, and then bringing it back to spec. And then I had to go back and surface it so it actually looks good, and then paint it. And by the way, these actual eyelids here are from Rev 9.
I was gonna say, because the NC1 headlights don't fit super well.
It does not fit at all.
Or NC3
so if you look closely, this actual accent here is a huge void, and so that's all missing. And so this is the part that I got from Rev 9 / Jetstream. And it's basically when I had the actual front bumper, I swapped it out and I epoxied it in the back, and then I surfaced it in such a way where I wanted it to look OEM. And I had all the gaps, so there's no actual voids whatsoever. And I surfaced it and I designed it and I painted it so it actually looked like this. I think it came out great.
That's phenomenal, yeah. So it's basically like, because I've seen that part ran before, but never actually like molded into the bumper itself. And that's such a nice touch. So I'm guessing then you had the bumper repainted, and you probably had the side skirts and the rear bumper painted all to match the marble white.
Correct, yeah. And all the paint job I did myself. You're going to look at this stuff. It's painting and sanding probably about 20 to 30 times. And so it's at that point where it's like, you're in a point in your life where it's like, you know what? I can do it. Why would I want to paint that? And so when you do it over and over again, you understand, oh my God, the orange peel can slowly go away. It's a little bit less. If I do it again, it's a little bit lesser. And you do it. And 30 times later, it's like, you know what? That ain't bad. And it looks great.
Paint job on the front bumper.
All of it, and the side mirrors as well. Yeah.
Oh
and
my God.
By the way, that's a pro of buying a weird metallic type paint that Mazda has. This marble white is relatively flat, which means easier to paint match. Our friend Jackson, Colored in Light, has been having issues. I mean, he's basically figured it out, but his red paint match is it's such a good red, the copper red, but there's enough flake in it where it's just really hard to match. Whereas this is flat marble white, you can't even tell.
I think this NC would fool most as far as what sub-generation it is, because of how in depth you've gone with your different body panel mismatching and how great the paint match is.
And if you're a true enthusiast, you'll be like, oh, marble white never came in NC2 or NC3, which means that's how you know. But most people wouldn't know. Yeah. Most people wouldn't even know the fact that there's one missing cap on the windshield replacement.
Way. Really?
Which maybe you didn't even know.
I didn't realize that. Oh my God, you're absolutely right.
I ruined it. Okay, sorry.
I'm gonna go fix that tonight.
Why?
I'm gonna order that on eBay tonight.
I love it.
Etsy.
So funny.
Yeah.
That's great.
Man, this NC3 bumper looks really good. So I first saw Kwan's, and I'll throw a picture on top of this video of when he had the NC1 bumper, which I really like NC1. Austin behind the camera loves NC1. He might even intentionally buy an NC1. He might even take Kwan's bumper, the old one.
It's free.
Just to revert it back to NC1, because he likes that design language. Design is subjective. as an automotive designer, I'm sure you can slightly agree.
I agree.
Like,
I agree.
It's subjective to a point. There's still also bad design, but like.
Yeah, but you know what though? If you're loving your car, there's no bad design. Whatever suits yourself, whatever you do to your car that makes you happy, my goodness,
Pontiac
that's
Aztec
it.
owners
Done.
are just emerging from the comments.
That's right. Yeah.
I want to see you Aztec owners in the comments. But yeah, we got an NC3
Yeah.
front bumper with the club appearance package lip, and this is kind of the club. I guess I don't know what you call that, but the grill
yeah.
situation. And you kept the badges silver. A lot of people do plastic dip them or get the black ones, but like this does actually call back to the silver on the interior.
That's right.
It really does create this cohesive bunch.
Yeah.
And I want to quickly look under the hood.
Yeah.
Because that's the only other thing we haven't really talked about yet. Fantastic. You have the same auto
Oh my God.
EXC thing that Jackson has.
This is one of the first mods I've ever done.
Really?
Many years ago. I've had the car for about 7 years. I think the first 6 months I'm like, I got to change out the air filter. And this has been one of the most incredible, the most exciting mods I can do, because you can really hear those intakes opening up, and that is amazing. And so it's underrated. People don't know about it though, but these guys are amazing. They're based in Japan, and they do phenomenal work.
Yeah, Auto EXC, Cobalt, of course, a Moss company, Moss branded item, and of course the Moroso coolant tank. That's like usually people's first comments.
You gotta have
and
that.
you have the matching steering fluid reservoir,
That's
which
right.
is
It was a no-brainer.
not super common. A lot of people are like, oh, beeline towards this, and they forget about everything else.
That's
And
right.
what kind of coilovers are we dealing with here?
These are
Meisters.
These are Meister Rs.
Meister
That's
R.
correct. Meister Rs.
Just
yeah.
like mine.
That's right.
That's
Just
awesome.
like yours. Yes, solid.
Yeah.
And I've got them pretty high up because it feels really good.
Well, I
About
mean,
3 or
there's a
4
lot of rough roads around here.
I know,
Southern California area.
Yeah, you know it, Jordan. Yeah, it's all good. You found my secret. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, even with the ride height where it's at, I still think with the wheel fitment and the tire selection that you have,
Yep.
the stance on this is, I think, as far as like a function fitment, it's about as good as it gets. I think
Yeah.
it's a
Thank you.
phenomenal fitment.
Appreciate that.
So I guess, Kwan, the only question remains of like, what is next? What else do you want
my
to
God.
do to this? If
So-
anything.
No,
Or
no.
you,
I
like,
think at this point, I think driving it and enjoying it, hanging out with you
The
and my
driver mod,
boys.
yeah.
I mean, if anything, if there's anything else that needs to get done, is probably learning how to pull door dings. I mean, I've got a few door dings, which is
Dude,
actually
if you
an
find
art.
out, let me know.
And so I'm at the point where I'm like, you know what? It can't be that tough. And I've seen guys put holes in the side doors. They open it up and they get these little tools. I'm like, I can't wait.
Yep.
But that's it. I mean, I drive it. I love it. It's a great car. It's
awesome.
And it's one of the best things ever. It's my little joy maker.
Yeah. It's great to see this car. I mean, this is how I met Kwan, through Miatas. That's a lot of ways you can meet other people through Miatas. Hopefully, Austin behind the camera gets a Miata.
You're next.
You're next.
That's great.
So yeah, let us know what you think of Kwan's Miata. Let us know if you think of any ideas that he should actually adopt on his own build ethos. But honestly, the real truth is like, make it what you want.
That's right.
For you, for me, I think OEM Plus is kind of our
right.
jive, and so that's kind of our direction. But dude, I was like so enthralled with marble white, crystal marble white, whatever, or no, crystal white metallic, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
But then I saw yours and I was like, oh, I really like that.
That's great.
So that's a good vibe. And honestly, I love everything you've done to it. It's been cool to see it grow a little bit. I mean, I haven't seen it that many times, but like
Yeah,
the
it's
few
cool.
times, it's been awesome. And yeah, we crewed up to Miata Reunion last
right.
summer. You probably hopefully saw TJ's NA Miata, which
right.
we've already recently covered. Hopefully we're gonna get to Vu's in B Miata.
Oh, yeah.
Sneak secret over there.
That is probably one of the best NBs out there right now. It's
In existence.
It's
pretty
there's so much
cool.
love in that thing. There's so much passion. And I do want to say, Jordan's one of the coolest guys. I met this guy. He reached out. I reached out. Whatever reached out. It turns out that he is so approachable. He's so friendly, and it's just like, how is this guy so cool, right? It turns out, I'll tell you what. But this is the answer. We share the same birthdays. It makes perfect sense. What
August
the hell?
1st. If you're an August 1st
come
birthday,
on, right?
let us know in the comments. And anyways, if you want to have like your Miata featured on the channel, I'd love to meet you. Like, I'd genuinely love to film every cool Miata out there. There's so many Miatas, so many passionate people
Yeah.
who just have these fun cars, which are easy to work on, cheap to work on. I'm trying to sell to Austin behind the camera.
Austin's like, I get it. I'm in.
I get it.
I'm in.
Talk to wife.
I just sent the Zelle. It's all good. It's all good. I just got it. Got confirmation.
Yeah,
I'm
we're gonna
in.
start a GoFundMe for Austin's Miata.
That's great. So great.
But anyways, that's Kwan's Miata, marble_NC1. Got some great photos. We'll throw the Instagram on the screen above. And yeah, thanks for sharing your car.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for sharing
Thank
your
you.
love,
Appreciate
your
it.
passion,
Yes.
and thanks for your automotive design, your boat design. This guy's designed like Bass Pro
If
Shop
you like boats,
You like boats.
Thank
This guy.
That's a whole other topic though, but yeah, for sure. That's
On the
Pro
video,
Shop, Johnny Moore.
no one
that's me.
will watch.
Oh boy, it's great. Hang on. That's a good looking car though. That's